Hey, what's going on, crew? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the IO Pro 3D. It's a really nice 3D device which offers a 5.99, basically a 6-inch display at 2160 times 1080 3D screen, which was really dope because you don't have to put glasses on and like actually use this thing. With glasses, you basically don't need to use them. Now this thing came with Android 8.0, which was really cool because like I really didn't have to like worry about like any lag or anything because of the 4 gigabytes of RAM. But then I recently put my SIM card in this thing just because I wanted to watch some 3D movies and just kind of like use this thing, and then I noticed that it had a Pi update, which was crazy because like I was using Pi within like an hour or so after getting that notification, which was pretty cool. So basically with the ROKiT IO Pro 3D, you are going to be able to use this thing with Cricket Wireless or Metro by T-Mobile or any GSM carrier for the most part. It's going to come with a SIM card slot, which is going to give you 64 gigabytes of memory, and 13 megapixel camera with 2 megapixels depth sensor, which is kind of crazy. So that's actually pretty cool. But so far I was really liking this thing. You can see right here in real life performance, it was actually doing a pretty decent job. This thing did offer quick charging speeds with a 3850 milliamp hour polymer battery, which is really fast. In my experience using this thing, I was getting a lot of good battery usage throughout the whole day. When you first get this thing, you get 3 months of ROKiT Medical, which basically gives you access to like medical benefits and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. This thing does give you an expandable SD card slot up to 256 gigabytes with the 60 on top of the 64 gigabytes that it offers, which is kind of sick in my opinion. But the really cool feature about this whole phone was that you can actually download movies that were actually SBS 3D to this device, which basically means that you can watch when you watch the movies on this phone, it pops out like there's no really way to explain it. You could just kind of see right here it's popping out, but it does, and to the naked eye it looks way sicker. But that update did come in like when I first put my SIM card in immediately into that thing, and I was actually thinking that this was just like a software update or something like that. So I was like, okay. But it said that I was getting redesigned volume controls and like news feed and digital wellness and everything. So I was kind of hyped when I saw that. I thought that was actually pretty sick. This thing had a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. It also does have volume controls and power on the same side. SIM card is on the other side. You are getting speakers on the bottom. The speakers are actually pretty good as well. 4 gigabytes of RAM actually did the trick because it was able to allow you to play some pretty steady games such as Call of Duty and everything like that. But I wasn't really like gaming on this thing too much. I was definitely just watching those movies, downloading a ton of movies that were actually the SBS from actually got it from like the torrent actually application, which was crazy because like when you use the ROKiT app that they offer, it's very limited. They only give you like these really weird videos to watch, which it was like Animal Planet and like it's like really limited actually. But you can see I was watching actually right here the Black Panther, which is nuts. It's one of my favorite movies, so it definitely looked really sick on that display and everything like that. So I wasn't complaining in any way possible with this thing. And the crazy part about this device is that when I first bought it, it was $299, which is actually $300. but if you go into the link down below and check the description section on Amazon, I'll leave an affiliate link, which is actually means that like if you click it, it's basically gonna give me like you know, a referral. So it was $2.99, but now this thing is a $149.99. And the fact that this thing did get Android 9 is kind of crazy. So that's actually even more reason to actually purchase it. But overall, I was definitely surprised that this thing, you know, was getting updates. I was actually surprised with the cameras that it did have to offer. I mean, I didn't get it for a higher price, but if you were to actually jump on this deal, you're actually getting 50% off. So you're paying like half the money that I actually originally spent, but I actually spent more because like there was shipping as well, which kind of sucks. But you know, I actually want to look out for you guys and save you money. And now that this thing is actually a really affordable price, it does have Android Pie as well, which is crazy because when I first bought it, it didn't have the Android Pie. I had to download that. Now you're getting it right out of box, which is kind of cool. But this thing did have really good front-facing cameras. Didn't matter if I was using it like in the nighttime or like in low light as well. It looked really good either way. Even the rear cameras were looking kind of crispy, like just to say the least. I wasn't complaining about those in any way possible. It did look really like detailed. The lighting, the exposure was really on cue. Also, the 2 megapixel depth sensor kind of like made this thing look sick in my opinion with the software. So $149.99 is actually a pretty good price for a phone that's going to give you 3D display, 1080 full HD. It's basically 6 inches at 5.99 inches. It has fast charging as well. It does have the USB micro USB charging, but this thing is smooth as butter with the 4 gigabytes of RAM that it does have to offer as well. When I went into the software, we were getting additional sound options to enhance the sound, which was kind of crazy. I'm trying to stop saying because I know that's kind of annoying, but you know, this phone definitely was pretty sick. When I was listening to music on it, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. The fingerprint on the back was actually dope as well because you can actually unlock it a lot quicker. It did have a LED light on the front, which actually let you know when notifications were coming in, which was pretty cool. So I definitely thought that was dope. It was like a green notification light on the front. But also this thing does have like a nice, you could hear that thing just dinged right there in the background. I actually was like playing around with it. Let me put do not disturb on real quick. But wow, like the interface actually updated a little bit when it got to Android 9.0 because it was like definitely a lot more updated. You got a dark mode on the notification panel, which was kind of cool. You know, definitely like using this thing in 2020, and I bought it like almost a year ago, I think. But the fact that it jumped up to a whole Android system update, which actually came through a zip file, like OTG, like they just threw that thing. When I powered that thing on, the zip file started downloading immediately, which was nuts. But you can see the night photography came out really good. Like I couldn't complain about that at all, like in any way possible. There's like a lighted environment. I was actually doing some shopping like during this time, which was nuts because they have some really good prices in CVS, I think this was, which was cool. But also the cameras on the 13 megapixel camera, you wouldn't be disappointed with it. A lot of people in Amazon made reviews about this device saying that the cameras were actually good, and I gotta agree with it. It was actually really good cameras. You can see this shot I took of the skyscraper actually looked really good as well. And I could say that this thing definitely surprised me. The fact that they're selling this thing half off is crazy because the price is actually really good. This thing doesn't have a notch or anything like that, which was good. But let me know what you guys think about this thing overall. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know you're actually new, because that would be cool. Let me know what you think about this thing. I think it's actually pretty sick. But welcome to the crew. It's your boy Serrano. Make sure you stay locked in for more videos just like this. Hit that bell notification. You definitely need to hit that so you can stay locked in and get notified whenever I drop a new video. But in the meantime, make sure you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and depending on where you are, have a great night. Later, crew. Peace.